and I don't have any music playing, but you can always have Pandora stream some yoga music in the background, or if you have Spotify, I have shared I think it's called Candle Flow by Rebecca Winglinski on Spotify. That list should be out there too, which is always a good one for a slow flow as well. Give it another minute, and then we are going to go ahead and get started lying on our backs. We'll come down in just a few seconds here. All right, we'll go ahead and get started. Stretching our legs out long, coming all the way down onto our backs, taking arms overhead to start, then taking those legs out to the right, arms out to the right, keeping those hips and shoulders grounded. We don't want them coming up to get farther into this. Seeing if we want to cross an ankle over the ankle. Does not matter which one. Maybe holding on to a wrist. And just checking in here. Maybe closing those eyes. Beginning to check in with that mind, body, and heart. Feeling what sensations you're bringing with you to the mat tonight. What emotions are you feeling? What thoughts are coming to your mind? Starting to practice to let go of those judgments, just making the observations. Observing the physical sensations of this body. Observing the emotions. Observing and letting the thoughts pass. Bringing focus to that breath. Allowing the chest and belly to rise as you inhale. Allowing it to fall back into the spine as you exhale. And taking some deep breaths here. Seeing if you can inhale a little bit longer than you usually do. Then seeing if you can exhale even longer than your inhale. And on your next breath in, seeing if you can pause and just hold it for a couple seconds before exhaling it all out. And then seeing if you can pause after the exhale, just a few seconds before taking another breath in. Allowing this body to ground into this mat. To feel that mat and floor beneath you fully. And taking one more breath here. And then if those ankles are crossed, uncrossing them, bringing them back to center, bringing arms to center, and then taking it out to the left. Legs go out left, arms go out left. Keeping those hips and shoulders grounded, breathing into those obliques, that side body, that IT band on the right side this time. As legs and arms are out to the left. And beginning to think of an intention for your practice this hour. Maybe it's something you're looking to find. Maybe it's something you're looking to release. Knowing that no matter what it is, whatever is needed will come to you. And holding that intention in mind, take a deep breath in. Exhale, sigh it away through your mouth. One more time, taking a deep breath in. Exhale, release. And settling in here for a few breaths. Checking in to see if this side feels any different than the previous. Continuing to check in with those thoughts and emotions. Observing and letting them pass. And as we ground into this mat, maybe even imagining roots coming through your spine, through your glutes, through the backs of these legs, and going beneath that floor into the ground, like you're rooting in like a tree. Just beginning to feel that stability. Connecting in with that present moment. Continuing to let that day go. Let that week go. Let those worries go. Coming back to the mat. Back to the breath. And then uncrossing those ankles and the wrists, coming back to center, bringing knees up to chest, adding a little rock on that back, taking arms out to a T, and then allowing those knees to fall out to the right. Head can stay centered or look out to the left. We're getting our first twist in for practice. Lubricating that spine, massaging those internal organs, dropping those shoulders down, and bringing the focus back to that breath. Then inhaling one knee up at a time, allowing those knees to fall out to the left. Head again can stay centered or turn out to the right. Getting a few breaths here. And then again, inhaling one knee up at a time, coming back to center, hugging those knees into the chest, and beginning to rock on that back, front and back. Starting to get quite a bit of momentum as we're going to try to rock up to a standing position. Feet can cross if need be into that forward fold. Letting that head hang low. Maybe adding a soft bend in those knees if it helps to bring those hands down. Taking a couple breaths here. And then keeping that right hand planted, bending that right knee, keeping that left leg straight. Inhale that left arm to the ceiling. Connecting heaven to earth. Getting a stretch for that IT band in that left leg. This helps if there's any sciatic pain going on. Then exhale, bring that hand down. Keep the left hand planted, bend that left knee. Inhale that right arm to the ceiling, keeping that right leg straight. Exhale, bring that hand down. Forward fold here. Then bring it up halfway so your back is straight, either hands grounding on the mat or on those shins. Exhale, bring it down. Inhale, slowly start to rise up, arms up overhead, coming into that prayer pose at chest center. Coming to the front of your mat. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Step it back to an upper push-up. Wrists underneath shoulders. Ankles under those, or ankles all the way back. Keeping a straight, flat back. Then bringing knees down, taking hips back, and gliding head and heart through. Tuck those toes, raise those hips to down dog. Inhale that right leg up to the ceiling. Point the toes, flex the foot, add a circle in each direction. Then bring that right knee to the right elbow. Take it back to the ceiling. Right knee to left elbow. Take it back to the ceiling. Right foot coming in between those hands. Pivot and plant on that back foot. Soft bend in that back knee. Slowly roll up. Arms coming up to frame the head. Checking our alignment here in this warrior one. Making sure knee is over ankle. So when we look down, we only see our big toe. Engaging in that front leg. Lunging deep. Engaging in that back straight thigh. Then straightening that front leg. Bringing arms behind us, maybe holding on to opposite elbows, maybe opposite wrists. If it's available, you can always bring hands into reverse prayer pose. I know that hurts my wrists. Then inhaling, looking back. Exhale, fold over that front straight leg. Breathing here in this intense side stretch. Working into those hamstrings. Working on a balance too, right here. Couple more breaths. Then soft bend in that front knee. Coming back up, arms out to a T now. Bringing those shoulders down into our warrior two. Checking that alignment again to make sure that that front knee is over that ankle. Then bringing that right arm to the right knee. Taking that left arm straight up to the ceiling and seeing if it's available to connect. Heaven to earth again here in this lunge. Bringing that right hand down, taking the gaze up to those left fingers if possible. Then exhale, frame that front right foot, step it back to down dog. Maybe walking the dog out a bit this time. Lifting one heel at a time. Shake the head out now. Nod the head yes. Looking back to those shins. This time raise that left leg. Point the toes, flex the foot, add a circle in each direction. Then taking left knee to left elbow. Back up to the ceiling. Left knee to right elbow. Back up to the ceiling. Left foot in between those hands. Pivot and plant on that back right foot. Soft bend in that back knee. Slowly come up. Arms framing that head. Lunge forward into that left knee. Making sure left knee is over ankle. All you see is the big toe when you look down. Engage through that back right thigh. Breathe here. Drop those shoulders. Then straighten that front leg. Taking arms behind, again, seeing where you need to hold on. Maybe it's opposite elbows. Maybe it's wrists. Inhaling back. Exhale, fold over that front leg. Work in that balance. Stretching into those hamstrings. And if you typically lock that knee, don't lock it. You want to keep it straight, but you don't want it locked. Breathing here. Seeing if you can even bring those shoulders down a bit. Then soft bend in that front knee. Bring arms out to a T on this side. Checking that alignment. Seeing if you can almost push that mat away as if you're pushing to the back with your back foot and pushing to the front with that left foot. Then bringing that forearm down on that front leg. Taking right arm to the ceiling and, if available, connecting heaven to earth. Bringing that left arm down. Can either be on the inside or outside of that front leg. Frame that foot. Step it back to down dog. Hips to the ceiling. This time coming back to that upper push-up. Knees down. Take those hips back. Glide heart and head through. Tuck those toes. Raise those hips, down dog again. Maybe stepping it out. Raise that right leg. Right elbow, or right knee to right elbow. Take it up. Right knee to left elbow. Take it back up. Right knee plants in between those hands. Pivot and plant that back left foot. Soft bend of that back left knee. Coming back up. Framing that head into our warrior one. Engaging through those legs again. Breathing here. See if you can lunge a little bit deeper. Then straightening that front leg out. Coming back to those arms behind. Inhale, look up. Exhale, fold over. Breathing here. Seeing if the balance is already starting to get a little bit easier. Soft bend in that front knee. Coming back up, arms out to a T. This time we're going to straighten that front leg again. Extend that right arm out as far as it can go, then bring it down, stacking shoulder over shoulder here in our triangle pose. Breathing here. Making sure to not lock that front knee. Sending the breath to those hamstrings or wherever we feel it most. Maybe it's in the shoulders. Then bending that front knee. We're going to turn and come back up to warrior two. Then we're going to turn our feet out to the long edge side of the mat. I'm going to turn to face you. So feet are now long edge side of the mat. Wrists are over ankles. We're going to inhale, arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Hands can be out in front. We can walk them in between those legs. We can even walk them back. Breathing here in this fold. Just taking a couple breaths. And then we're going to begin to walk those hands out to the right. Bending that right knee, getting that soft side lunge here. Feeling this on the inner part of our legs. Inhale. Exhale through center. Take it out to the left. Breathing here. And taking it back to center. Bringing hips or hands to hips. Slowly coming up. Turning those feet out to the corners. So heels come in, toes go out, beginning to sink those hips. Arms coming up to goalposts, our cactus arms. Coming here to our goddess pose. Breathing here, seeing if we can sink those hips anymore. Maybe pick up that right heel. Maybe pick up that left heel. Maybe pick up both. Breathe. You can do this. Just a couple more breaths. Seeing if you can sink a little bit lower. One more breath. Land those heels. Pick up those, bring in those knees. Point those toes back to the edge. Inhale, arms up and fold forward. This time, walking those hands back to that front edge of the mat, picking up that heel, framing that front left foot, and stepping it back to down dog. This time we're going to raise that left foot, taking left knee to left elbow, taking it back to the ceiling. Left knee to right elbow, back up to the ceiling. Left foot plants in between those hands. Pivot and plant that back right foot. Soft bend in that back knee. Slowly start to come up. Arms frame that head. Checking that alignment before moving forward, making sure knee is over ankle, engaging through those legs. Then straightening that front leg. Arms come back and behind. Inhale back. Exhale, fold over that front left leg. Breathing here. Checking in on that balance again. And then soft bend in that front knee. Arms out to a T. Straighten that front leg. Take that left arm out as far as it can go and then bring it down. Stacking shoulder over shoulder in our triangle on this side. Soft bend in that front knee. Coming back to that warrior two. Taking those feet, toes back to that long edge side of the mat. This time we're going to bring hands behind us, making sure toes are pointed forward. Bring hands behind us, clasp the hands together. Inhale back. Exhale, fold forward, bringing those hands and shoulders as far as we can. See if we can bring those hands up just a little bit more. Breathing here, working into those shoulders as we get this gentle stretch into our low back, into our hamstrings. Then release that hold, bring hands down, get that forward fold. Walking those hands back out to the right, bending that right knee, getting that side lunge. Walking those hands through center, out to that left foot, bending the left knee, getting that side lunge on this side. And then walking those hands back to center, hands to hips, slowly come up, bump those heels in, toes out, bend those knees and sink. This time, we're just gonna bring those arms up overhead. And we're gonna see if we can bring them down and up, down and up, keeping our squat. Down and up, coming back to that squat, bringing hands to those hips, coming back up, point those toes back out to the long edge side of the mat, and forward fold. Turning those left toes back to the short edge of the mat, framing that foot, stepping it back to down dog. Coming to an upper push-up, bringing knees down, taking hips back to heels, glide head and heart through, coming back up. Tuck those toes, raise those hips, down dog. Raise that right leg, right knee to right elbow. Take it up. Right knee to left elbow. Take it up. Right foot plants in between those hands. Pivot and plant that back foot. Soft bend in that back knee. Slowly start to come up. Arms, frame that head. Engage through those legs. Straighten that front leg. Hold on to those arms. Inhale back. Exhale, fold forward. Breathing here. Soft bend in that front knee. Arms out to a T. Turning those palms upside down to see if that feels different in the shoulders, and then flipping them back over. Then bringing right arm, right forearm on top of the right thigh. Left arm overhead. Turning our gaze down, bringing both arms out to frame that head again. Slowly Starting to walk that back foot up into our warrior three. Arms out in front. Square those hips, raising that left leg, left toes pointed down. Soft bend in that front right knee. Breathing here. Finding an unmoving object on that floor to hold your gaze. Then planting that back left foot back. Frame the foot. Step it back to down dog. Walk it out. Focus on your breath. And then raise that left leg up. Left knee to left elbow. Raise it up. Left knee to right elbow. Raise it up. Left foot inside those hands. Pivot and plant that back right foot. Soft bend in that back right knee. Slowly start to come up. Frame that head. Check that alignment. Lower those shoulders. Straighten that front leg. Bringing arms back behind us. Holding on to wrists or elbows. Inhale back. Exhale, fold over that front straight leg. Coming back to that breath. Always breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. Now you're never stuck. You can always come back to down dog or child's pose if you need to. Then bending that front knee. Bringing arms out to a T into that warrior two. Bringing that left arm onto the left thigh. Right arm overhead to start. And then turning the gaze down, bringing both arms to frame that head. Pivoting on that back foot, coming to the balls of the toes, and then starting to bring that right leg up. Squaring those hips so you're not like that. Pointing those right toes down. Taking that gaze out in front of you. If your ankle wobbles, it's good. You're working on your balance. Breathing here. Then bring those hands down to frame that left foot. Step that right foot back. Step the left foot back to meet it. Down dog here. Walk it out. Coming back to that breath. Beginning to slow that breath down. Knowing the hard, fast flows are done. Moving into more of our seated flows. Inhale, bring that right leg up. Exhale, bring the right knee to the inside of that right wrist. So the toes are pointed out to the left. The bottom of the foot is pointed out to the left, not back behind you. Want to protect that knee. You can always, if you have a blanket or a pillow, put that under your hip, added support. Inhale up. Exhale, begin to walk it down. Fold forward. Slowing the breath down here. Coming back to that present moment. To that mat. Seeing if you can still feel and imagine those roots grounding through the floor and into the earth. Bringing you back to that stability. Allowing that chest and belly to rise. Maybe even touch your thighs or the mat as you inhale. Allowing them to come back into the spine as you exhale. Seeing if you can sink a little deeper each inhale. Just taking a few more breaths here as we work into these hips. And then bringing those hands down beneath your shoulders, pushing into the floor, tucking that back toes, and raising that right leg up. Kicking it out, doing what you need to do. Then coming back to that down dog. Raise the left leg, bringing left knee inside that left wrist. Again, seeing if you need to add any support underneath that hip. Inhaling up. Exhale, begin to fold and walk it forward. Making sure those feet, that foot, that left foot is facing the right. Breathing here. Is there anything you can release? Is there a sensation in this body that is just speaking loudly to you? Can you send the breath there? With each inhale, focus on that tension releasing. As we're working on these hips, we store so many emotions here. Is anything coming up for you? Are you able to observe it and acknowledge it? And then let it pass. Sometimes when we store these emotions, we just need to know that they're there. We don't necessarily need to dive deep in them right now. Just be aware. Taking just a couple more breaths right here. Then if you have any blocks or pillows or blankets underneath you, moving those out of the way. Bringing hands down, tucking those back right toes, raising that left leg up, kicking it out, doing what you need to do. Coming back to down dog. And then slowly starting to walk those feet to in between the hands, into this forward fold. Then heel toeing those feet out to mat width distance apart, heels in, toes out, slowly starting to come down into our yoga squat. Knowing we can always take a seat. Or coming back up. Breathing here. Knowing that this is working so many areas in our lower body. Just taking a couple breaths here. And then bringing hands down and finding that comfortable seat. Bringing legs out, shaking them out. And then we're going to cross right leg over left. Keeping that right knee up. Seeing if it is available to wrap that left leg back around. If not, it's always okay to keep that leg straight out in front. Wrapping that left arm around that right leg. Inhaling that right arm up. Exhale, take the right arm behind you, trying to keep it close to that back spine so your spine is straight. Seeing if you can look out over that right shoulder. Getting another twist in here. Each time you breathe in, seeing if you can get straighter. Each time you exhale, seeing if you can look a little bit farther back. Allowing this pose to massage those internal organs. Doing so much good for our spine here. And then coming back through center and just looking out to the left for a counter stretch. And then if that left leg is wrapped around, bringing it back out in front, uncrossing that right leg and bringing the bottom sole of that right foot to the inside of that left thigh. Turning out to face that left leg, toes flexed. Inhale. Begin to exhale to fold over that left leg. Dropping those shoulders, even if it means those hands come back a little farther, closer to the body. Getting the stretch for our hamstrings and our left leg. Seeing if we can even take that right hand to the outside of that left leg for a little deeper. And coming back to that breath. If the mind has wandered, we can always come back to that breath. Even if we need to tell ourselves, inhale and exhale. So often that mind wanders into lists and worries and plans. Especially with so much anxiety currently going on. We have the power to come back to the breath, to come back to this present moment, and to let all of that mind clutter go. Taking just a couple breaths here. And slowly starting to bring it back up. Bringing that right leg out in front, parallel to your mat. Then stacking that left leg either on top of, maybe with the blanket or pillow underneath that left knee, or in front of. You want to make sure you have a triangle space of mat when you look down and your legs aren't just super close to you. If they're super close, you want to bring them out farther so you see a triangle. Knowing that this can be intense right here for these hips in our box pose. If you would like to add on, take a deep breath in, and then exhale, walk those hands forward and fold forward. Now you can always use a block, blanket, or pillow for your head as well. Adding another hip opener here. Breathing here. If there's anything else we can let go of. Maybe it was our intention to release. Seeing if we can continue to exhale out whatever no longer serves us. And if our intention was to find something taking in those positive, intuitive thoughts with every inhale. And just getting a couple more breaths here. And then slowly start to walk it back up, bringing hands behind us, taking those legs out long and shaking it out. This time, we're going to leave that right leg long, taking that left foot over, keeping left knee up and pointing to the sky. That right leg can either stay straight or wrap it around. Taking right arm to wrap around that left leg. Inhale, that left arm up to the ceiling. Exhale, taking it back, close to the spine, looking out over that left shoulder. Breathing here in this twist. We can always check in to see if one side feels different than the other. Knowing that there isn't any reason to place a judgment on it, it's just observing. Observing where we may be looser, where we maybe have more tension. Knowing that with each inhale we can straighten, and with each exhale we can go deeper, looking over that shoulder a little farther. Use 2 more breaths right here. And then coming back to center and looking out to the right for that counter stretch. Coming back to center, extending that right leg long, bringing the bottom of that left sole to the inside of that right thigh, flexing those right toes. And then as we take a deep breath in, slowly start to exhale and fold over that extended right leg. Breathing here. Releasing the tension in these right hamstrings. Dropping those shoulders back. Taking that left hand to the outside of that right leg. Get a little deeper into these hamstrings. Always coming back to that breath. Maybe even checking in to see if you can still imagine those roots coming from the sit bones into the earth. Getting that stability even more. Getting that connection. Give yourself a couple more breaths right here. And then slowly coming back up, keeping that left leg parallel, bringing that right leg to stack on top of the left, again, knowing you can always use a blanket or pillow, or bringing it in front, checking to make sure you have that triangle space again. Taking a deep breath in, and then exhale, walk it forward, knowing you can always stay seating tall. Breathing into those hips here. In our box pose. What more can you release? And as we practice being present and practice grounding, knowing that you can take this off the mat as well. Whenever that heart starts to race or the chest starts to tighten and the anxiety takes over, you can come back to that breath. Whenever we're feeling anxious or just unstable in general, you can come back to visualizing those roots coming through your body into the earth, bringing you back into the moment, into exactly where you are right then and there. We practice this in yoga so we can practice this in life. Taking just a couple more breaths here. And then slowly starting to bring it back up. Doing whatever you need to do to work that out. Maybe it's shaking those legs out. Maybe it's bending the knees and taking the knees from side to side, adding those wiper blades. And then when ready, holding on to the backs of those thighs, slowly starting to make your way down onto the mat. Bending those knees into the chest, giving yourself a hug. And then arms coming out to a T, allowing those knees to fall out to the right again. Head can stay centered or turn out to the left. Getting a final twist in here. And just checking in to see if this simple twist feels any different than it did at the beginning of class. Allowing yourself a few breaths right here for the spine, for these internal organs. Taking just 2 more breaths right here. And then inhaling one knee up at a time, coming back to center and allowing those knees to fall out to the left. Head can stay centered or turn out to the right. Maybe sending some gratitude to this body for all that it has done for you today and in this practice. Some gratitude to yourself for bringing yourself to your mat. Giving yourself an hour to be present. Giving yourself this time to practice that breath, to practice that grounding. And then inhale one knee up at a time. Hug those knees in one more time. Maybe taking the bottoms of the soles to look up to the ceiling, holding on to either calves, ankles, or the bottoms of those feet and allowing those knees to come in closer to the shoulders, into our happy baby pose. Maybe even adding some movement, bending one knee, extending one leg. Rocking on that back a bit. And then bringing knees back in the chest. One more hug. Extending legs out long on that mat. Allowing the legs to come out wide. Feet out to the sides, arms out a few inches away from that body, palms facing up to that ceiling as we set up for our final relaxation, our Shavasana. Already beginning to feel this body ground back into this mat. Those roots coming through the floor into the earth. Knowing the hard work is done and we can fully release. As we begin to relax from toes to crown. We relax these feet, the toes and spaces between them, the bottoms and tops of the feet. We release through ankles, shins, and calves. Relaxing all parts of these knees. We release through the quadriceps, hamstrings, and all parts of these thighs. Relaxing the pelvic bone, glutes, and hips. Allowing this lower body to sink deeper into the mat. We release through the abdomen and back. The low back, mid back, and upper back are cradled in this mat. We release through the chest, lungs, and heart. Relaxing these hands. We release through the fingers and webbing between them. Through the palms and tops of these hands. We release through these wrists and forearms. Relaxing all parts of these elbows. We release through the upper arms and shoulders. Relaxing this neck and head. We release all facial muscles, allowing the tongue to fall to the bottom of the mouth, the lips to part slightly, and cheeks to hollow. We release through the forehead and scalp. This whole body sinks deeper into the mat. As we release from roots to crown. We surrender. Slowly beginning to awaken this body, keeping the eyes closed. We begin to wiggle fingertips and toes. Gently allow the wrists and ankles to rock. Allowing the head to gently rock from side to side. And then bringing feet together, knees to chest, giving ourselves a hug. Maybe rocking on this back and rocking over to the right side in a fetal position using arms as pillows. Checking in one more time this hour with that mind, body, and heart. Checking back in with that intention you set at the beginning of practice. And checking back in with being grounded and staying present. Then gently pushing into the floor, coming up to a seated position, keeping eyes closed, bringing hands to prayer pose at heart center. Finding one more thing you can release this hour. And taking a deep breath in, exhale, sigh it away. Thank you for allowing me to help guide you through your yoga tonight. The light shining from me reflects the light shining from each and every one of you. Namaste.